What's up everyone, and welcome back for episode 2 of my Mihile series. Starting off here with some daily bosses, which will be the routine for this character now. I'm likely going to leave this as an Akechi Mule for now while I push my Nightwalker a bit faster. This character will still eventually become a C10 Mule, I think, but I only have so much time and so many resources for each character, so I do plan on pushing my Nightwalker a little faster right now. For now, the plan is to get any missing pieces of my boss set. Here we got the Magnus shoulder, so I gave it a quick potential, which ranked up to epic pretty quick, so I got it to 6% and star forced it up to 12 stars. After getting the Magnus shoulder, the other two pieces I was waiting for were the Silver Blossom ring from Horntail and finishing out the Noble Ifia ring from Von Leon. If you look at my planner right now, I'll kind of explain the bosses I have left on my dailies. Von Leon will be until I have the 10 accessories, and Horntail until I get the Silver Blossom ring. Pink Bean will stay on there for a little while until I have 16 spare belts. I say 16 because in my experience in the past, I've boomed up to 12 belts before hitting 22 stars to fodder into the Golux belt. Next on the list is Ranmaru, which I'll be using to farm fodder until I'm able to finish out my Absolab gear. Arcarium and Golux are two staple dailies for pretty much every character, even my main, since Arcarium drops the Dom pendant and farming Golux coins is something we'll be doing for months now. And yeah, basically from here will be the same daily bosses to stack the spares that are needed and the Golux coins until I'm able to push my gear a bit further to push to the next kind of checkpoint in bosses, I guess, for a bossing mule, which will be the normal Lotus and Damien clears. And here we are a couple days later doing our weekly bosses. There's nothing in particular I'm looking for here for these earlier bosses. The main upgrade that came from this session of weeklies would come from Vellum. I had 7 pieces of destruction from him, so I was really hoping I'd get at least 8 to make my real CRA weapon, and luckily enough, we were able to get 10 from him this round. I went into Pinot as well to try and get the Princess No secondary. Sat there for almost 3 minutes on the warrior mobs. Mihile seriously has like no lines, so I can't wait until I'm able to get my Pink Bean Soul and I'm able to do this a lot faster. But I had to do it, and boo, 3 pieces short of the secondary, which is fine though. I wasn't planning on spending too many mesos to upgrade gear right now, as the Star Forcing event was coming up, and I wanted to try and save as much money as I could for that. I finished out these bosses with Akechi and CPAP, who I fought 1.5 times because I couldn't clear the 100% regen on the clock. Seriously, I'm so good at this game, I swear. I sold all my boss crystal, and with the newfound meso I had, I went ahead and upgraded the CRA weapon that we just made. I'm not entirely sure why I didn't stop at 12. It just kind of went pretty quick to 15 anyways, but I told myself I would stop at 12 because, again, I was trying to save some money. I grabbed some cubes from my other characters to throw onto the weapon as well, which tiered it up to epic pretty quickly, so I like to spend money, I guess, and I bought 50 bright cubes to try and send it to legendary. It only went to unique before I ran out of cubes, so I went ahead and settled on the 9% attack and 15% ignore defense bot that we landed on. Afterwards, I used some leftover flames I had and some of the event flames to make sure it was an upgrade over my temporary CRA weapon, which eventually it was after getting a 40 attack and 6 damage flame. And after that, we are now at 2.4 million combat power, which is about 300,000 up from the last video. Not much, but I mean, in just another week, pretty solid upgrade. I think this is where I'm gonna cut our progress for now, since I did go out of town the next 4 days, and recording on my laptop is not the greatest. And I just will be doing dailies anyway, if I even get to them. But yeah. Okay, so here we are after the 5, 10, 15 star forcing event. I spent about 2.8 bill on my Mihile. All I did was get my CRA gear to 17 stars. I did grab the level 150 gloves, shoulder, and shoes from their respective shops to go ahead and push them to 17 as well. All my accessories I got either to 15 if that was their max, or 17 if they could go there. And afterwards, here we are at about 3.3 million combat power. We are going to be putting potentials on any gear that I upgraded that was missing their strength line. So we'll get that done real quick. Alright, and now that my gear is all upgraded, the next boss I wanted to try was the Hell mode of Gollux or Hellux. So yeah, here we go. With my new gear, it wasn't particularly a hard run in terms of mechanics due to Mihile's tankiness, but a 10-minute run is just too long for me to be doing on a boss mule. So we'll probably sit at the hard mode for a while until it speeds up. Here I am, griefing myself again. I started the Noble Ifia questline as I had the 10 accessories already, but there was a step in the questline where it asks you to go ahead and kill Von Leon, and I already went and did my dailies earlier, so gotta wait another day. I went ahead and moved on to my weekly bosses. I think the most important progress point for this week was putting the Pink Bean Soul on my weapon, which allowed us to clear stage 2 much faster. So let's go ahead and charge my weapon and test that out. And yeah, that saves me about 3-4 minutes on that run. I went ahead and finished up with Akechi for the week and sold my crystals. And we should go ahead and work on that secondary we just got, right? Wrong. How the heck is Nexon going to announce a Shining Star Force 2.5 weeks after we just did a 5, 10, and 15? Jeez. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and save Meso, as I don't think pushing my secondary right now will change the bosses that I'm clearing. So we'll go ahead and move on for now. So I still need to go ahead and finish up that Noble Ifia questline. And let's go ahead and watch myself brick this character again. I went ahead and killed Hard Von Leon, not realizing that the questline says that I'm supposed to kill easy mode. Genius. Funny part is the next day I almost did it again, thinking that this character already had the Noble Ifia ring, but it was actually my Nightwalker that I finished the questline on. So right before I went in, I was like, wait, I don't need to fight this guy anymore. I have the ring. But when I checked, nope, I have to go do easy. So anyways, I finished up that storyline, got my ring. But I think we're just going to go ahead and park this Mihile here for now, because I do have other characters I want to be working on, and I don't see any upgrades that are worth it right now to push us to the next step of bosses. I promise my Mihile will get more love eventually. I do think it's a very interesting class. While I don't feel the burst is as satisfying as I'd like it to be, being able to Royal Guard bosses is still pretty interesting. So we'll see, but I do think it's going to be put on the back burner for now, as I do want to push my Nightwalker a bit faster, and I did make another boss mule with the Hyperburn that we just got, so we'll be making an episode on that soon. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Definitely a lot shorter than the first episode. Not as much happened, but that's how Maple Story progression goes. It definitely starts to become more of a waiting game as we start just kind of doing dailies to go ahead and stack the spares that we need for the next big upgrade jump. So, not entirely sure when the next update for this character will be, but when he's ready to jump, we are going to be sending him. So yeah, thanks again for watching. If you're enjoying the videos, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. Y'all have a great week. Love y'all. Peace.